Good morning, friends and family of YouTube. It's Travis, and today I'm hiking West Prong Trail. But before we get started, let me give you some directions on how to get here, and those are coming up right now. If you're driving from the Maryville, Tennessee area, you'll pass through the city of Townsend, and then you'll come up here to the Townsend Y. If you turn left, that will take you back towards Gatlinburg. But today we're going to go towards the right, which takes us back to Cades Cove area. And just to show you how short this drive is before you hit your next turn, I'm just going to go ahead and leave this recording, because today we want to turn right here going back towards Tremont. Alright, so this is where we're going to turn. This is West Prong, so we're going to park up here, but just a little farther down on the left is the Tremont Institute. That is also where you can park to hike Spruce Flats Falls, which is one of my absolute favorites. But anyway, let's pull in here and get situated. All right, welcome back. Again, this is West Prong Trail. It's going to be almost 5 miles round trip when we're all said and done. Let me pan around here real quick and kind of show you where I'm parked at and where the trailhead starts. And so as you work your way up through here, there is a sign where the trail splits. You do want to bear to the left and follow that. And this is going to take us over to a campground. I'm already sucking wind. That's what I get for trying to talk as I'm going uphill, so I apologize for that. But this will take us to a campground, and we'll check that out. And then we have to go all the way to the top where it butts into Bote Mountain to consider this trail complete. So anyway, let me switch over to the chest mount and we will get started. Here is another one of these trees that have gotten blown over in a recent storm. I mean, look at that. It's crazy. And here are some more trees that have blown down recently and had to be cleared off this trail. And look at that. That is crazy. Alright, I don't know if you're going to be able to see him or not. I can see he's camouflaged really well, but there's a deer staring right up there at me. There's another one moving. There goes his tail. There's a second one over here. Maybe you'll see him moving here in a minute. He's staring right at me. Let's see if we can get a shot. So the first one is right there. The second one is right up here, moving towards each other. Heard a twig snap where I would have never seen them. There they are. Had a couple more deer kind of scare me going up through here. I heard them. Oh, there he is. See him? Hopefully you can see that. Hey, buddy. Alright, let's see what this says. It's a new sign too. West Prong Trail, and then Campsite 18. And then this little trail, I think, just ends. It just goes down here to the bottom. I did that the last time I come up here, but there's really not much to see down there from what I can remember. But let's just head on this way. All right, just to give you a shot here of some of the flowers on the side of the trail. Can't remember if there's a lot of these on this particular trail itself, but they are scattered throughout parts of it. And you can see that everything is definitely starting to green up again for the spring. There's some more on both sides of the trail. So if you definitely enjoy the flowers, you're going to get a few of these. I don't know if this is one of the trails that just has a ton. And you can hear the birds today too. I mean, they're out in full force. And as you can see in the background, like it's cloudy, overcast, probably a chance for a little bit of rain, not much, but I've had to change the GoPro settings to a lower light setting to hopefully make the picture a little brighter. If the sun was out, I would switch it back over to its normal setting, but hopefully that won't mess this video up too much. But I didn't want it to come out too dark if possible. All right, so sunrise this morning was officially at 6:55. It is 7:31 now, so I've just been hiking for a few minutes. I delayed my departure from home intentionally this morning to allow the sun to get up a little farther, just so that when I was filming the directions to get here, hopefully those show up a little better and they're not in the dark. But the thing that had me a little bit concerned was today is free parking day. So if you're not aware, I think it started last year, the Great Smoky Mountain National Park now requires a parking permit, which isn't too horribly expensive. You can get them at some of the different designated kiosks, or you can order them online and print them out, or have the longer term one mailed to you. But I think it's, and don't quote me on this, I think a one-day pass is like either $5 or $7. A week-long pass I think is around $15. And then if you get the annual pass, which is what I get since I live here locally, it's $40. So not horrible, but that permit is required if you're going to park anywhere in the Smoky Mountain National Park for more than 15 minutes. And today is one of the free days that anybody can come up here and park. So I expect that the number of visitors today will increase over a normal weekend, along with the fact that the weather is starting to get nicer. When I left the house, it was like, I don't know, 58 degrees. I think it's supposed to be in the mid 60s today, up into the 70s tomorrow. So that is definitely going to increase the amount of visitors as that weather becomes a lot nicer. And then as we get into the summer and people are on vacation, there'll definitely be an increase of people coming into the park, which is what we need. But it makes it hard on me when I'm trying to hike and be up here by myself. So anyway, still trying to catch my breath. Oh, let me swing around here. Here's another tree that, man, look at that. Just the amount of wind damage required to push one of these over. And this has been, there's another one up here, another one off in the distance. Like, man, this is incredible. This is a huge tree too. So anyway, be prepared to see a lot of that. Luckily, the Park Service has been able to get up here and clean those off. I don't think I could have got around those otherwise. But again, like I was saying, free parking day today. And I think they've got 3 or 4 more days for the rest of the year. You can go online and check that out. But anyway, let's keep moving. All right, I'm very quickly remembering a couple of things that I like hiking in the wintertime better than the spring. Humidity, my goodness, I'm already sweating. And spider webs, oh man. You probably saw me earlier, I was clearing one off my face. Like, they'll get worse as summertime approaches, especially if you're the first one on the trail. I mean, you get to clear them out for everybody. So that appears to be the case. But just to swing around here again, you don't get to see this in the winter time. And if you wait too long, probably after about May, you'll miss it too. Because I think when we hiked this trail, gosh, it's been over a year ago, it was already in the summer months and the flowers were gone. So we did miss that. So definitely something different for every season on these hiking trails that you can experience. But right now it's humidity and spider webs. And just to let you know, there are some trees up here that the Park Service has not had a chance to clear out yet. So not too horrible on foot, but this is I believe a horse trail also. I don't know if they could maneuver through some of this, but anyway, just be expecting that. All right, so I'm not a plant expert, but I believe this is phlox, and then this is, I believe, yellow trillium. And as you can see, if the sun was out, these would be open a lot better and brighter. But that is a couple of the types of flowers on this trail that I've seen so far. But I thought I would just share that with you. All right, there's definitely something moving down in the woods. All right, I'm gonna move around here and see if I can get a better shot. I can't see it, I can only hear it. But this trail loops up around. We'll see if we can get a better view of it. All right, I'm looking down through there and I cannot see anything. That is one of the disadvantages of when everything starts to get into bloom. Your line of sight is just not near as good. But I did hear something down there, and it was something large. I could hear it stepping on the sticks. So it was either a deer, which I've already seen a few today. I was really hoping it was going to be a bear. I wanted to see another one. I saw one last weekend, and that was the first one I've seen this year, and I was hoping I was going to add a second one, but he, whatever it is being very elusive. So unless I can get a better view when the trail curves up here, I don't know what that was. But I did want to show you this real quick. This big, enormous rock. And you're like, man, you're in the mountains and you're looking at a rock. I know, but a lot of times you're just looking at trees. And these things are just spectacular. I mean, here's, I'm trying to reach up. Oh, there's a big old worm. Looks like a centipede, maybe. But that's how tall this rock is compared to where I'm standing. I'm gonna see if you can see that. So, huge rock. Anyway, I know you're probably not that impressed with it, but I enjoy it. All right, so I never did see what that was down in the ravine making the noise. I'm 90% sure that was a bear, but it's kind of like fishing. If you don't get it in the boat, you can't count it. So if I don't visually see it, I can't count that one either. So still only one bear for the year. All right, we're coming up on some kind of intersection here. Let's see what this is. All right, so I don't know. There's another little side trail that runs down through there. I don't think I've been on it, but I'm not going to do it today because 5 miles is all I had planned. And it's kind of like going to Walmart. I got to mentally prepare before I go. And I've only mentally prepared for a 5-mile hike. If I add anything to it, I just don't know if I've got enough gas in the tank. So anyway, we'll keep moving this way. All right, so normally this would probably give you a really good view of the mountains, but it's just so cloudy you can't really see that much. Try to give you a good shot here of the mountains off in a distance. But yeah, it's just overcast and a little bit of fog, and it makes for a great day of hiking, don't get me wrong, but your visibility's not there. And I can hear running water, so that means we are getting closer down here to a water source. Hopefully the campsite. I feel like I'm still actually quite a ways away, but maybe I'm making better time than I thought, so we'll find out. All right, so I do remember this crossing from the last time that my wife and I hiked this one. And the reason is, as we were coming back, her foot slipped and one foot went in the water, and we were just wearing tennis shoes that day. So her foot was soaked and she had to hike the rest of the way out with a wet foot. So I didn't get it on video, but I've got it up here in my memory, and it still makes me laugh. So hopefully she doesn't watch this video and see this comment, because if she does, she'll get mad. But anyway, still kind of funny. But let's get across this here real quick. All right, well, the water levels are up, but it does look like people have put some rocks in here to help make a pathway. Last time it wasn't like that. We had a little bit more difficulty. However, these rocks are wet and slick, but we made it. But just to give you a view of what it looks like, pretty significant stream here, and I know it runs down into the bigger stream, which probably call it a river, but I'll show you when we get down here. But we're very close to campsite from this point. All right, so remember when I said earlier that it was cloudy with a chance of rain? Well, it's raining. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. But you might be able to hear it hitting the leaves here. So, I normally bring a rain jacket, but I left it in the truck. So hopefully it doesn't get too bad. Even if it does, it's a short hike. And the GoPro is waterproof. And I guess technically I am too. But anyway, just want to let you know, it did rain. All right, so we have made it here to the camp. I mean, it's literally like a 2-minute walk from where we crossed over the creek. But I was going to just show you while we have a second. There are multiple campsites. So here is the cable system, so that one of the cable systems that you can use to hang your food up at night so the bears don't get to it. And we're going to swing around this direction. You can cross right there, but with it being rainy and slick, I'm not going to take the chance when we can go right up here and stay on the trail. And it is raining pretty hard right now. And I did smell smoke from a fire when I was coming up through here, so I feel like there's somebody up here camping at the moment. They probably went inside their tent, or they have already left and hiked back out, but there may be some campers out here. I was hoping I arrived just in time for breakfast, but oh well. Guess the rain put a snag on that. So here's one of the campsites. That's where we just came from. So here's one, and I'm not going to go up there in case there's some campers, but there's another one right up here. And I'm going to show you this, because this is my favorite, is this big bridge. You know, I love these wooden bridges like this, but look at that. Pretty awesome view. So I'm gonna stop this for just a second, wipe off the lens to make sure that's not blurring the video. So give me just a minute here. All right, hopefully that's better. I'm doing my best to keep the rain off the lens of the GoPro. There's another shot. Like I said, there is another campsite up there. There's the one right here. And then when you go on down, and I'm not gonna go down there today, just for the fact I know it feels like there's somebody up here camping, because I can smell the smoke. But when you come down through here, you can follow this down on a little farther, and there's a couple more campsites right down there on the river. And you can fish as long as you've got the right permits. You can come up here and trout fish, which is pretty awesome. But to finish this trail, we have to go up here to where it hits Bote Mountain, and I will warn you, this is probably the worst part because it's straight uphill. But I did want to show you and make sure that I got the full trail in today. All right, so a funny story about this particular section of the trail. We actually, a couple years ago, my wife and I, when we first started hiking, we were hiking up Bote Mountain, and then we came down this section to get down to the campsite. So on the way down, I heard a noise, and I stopped to look up in the woods to see what was going on. I'm gonna try to do a reenactment of this to see if it makes sense, okay? So we're gonna pretend like this right here is my wife, this stump, okay? Even though she's a lot more attractive than this. But anyway, she was behind me, and I hear this sound, and I'm like, oh, what is that? And I go to look up in the woods, and there's a bear in the distance. He'd just gotten out of a tree, and he saw us and took off. And I'm like, hey, hun, did you see that? She wasn't there. This is the view I got. Let's back up a little bit. I'm like, hey, hun, where's she at? She was already about another 20 feet down the trail. And I was like, what are you doing? And she said, I didn't need to see what that was. I just kept walking. And I'm like, yeah, but it was a bear. Didn't you want to see it? And she said, nope. She said, anytime you say there's a bear, the only advice I have is just keep walking. And that's how we got the name of the YouTube channel, Just Keep Walking. So, fun little fact, still makes me laugh because she was about 10 feet behind me when I saw it. I turned around, she was gone, and she was about another 20 feet down the trail. So, she doesn't mess around when there's bears. I was kind of hoping I would see one on this part. Usually anytime you're around one of these campsites, there's a pretty good chance that you're gonna have the opportunity to see one. They tend to stick around because they know that could be a potential food source. But anyway, thought I'd just share that story with you. All right, well, I just saw my arch nemesis up here on the trail. I don't know if he's moved off yet or not. If he hasn't, this is going to be a whole lot of fun. We'll see if we can get a shot of him. Hopefully he moved on. I'm looking for him. Both sides of the trail. And I don't see him, which that doesn't make me feel any better. But in case you're wondering what kind of an animal spooks me a little bit, it was a turkey. Yes, I said it, a turkey. I'm not embarrassed. But I ran into one a couple of months ago. Actually, it was a male turkey with about 5 female turkeys. And he got really, really protective. And come up on the trail and followed me for a little bit. He was huffing and puffing, sticking his chest out, making some noise. I wanted to make sure I knew who was boss. And I went on about my way. I was hoping we were gonna get a shot of him, but I think this one was a single one just out here by himself, and I can't hear him now with all the rain, and I didn't see him. It's really kind of dark out here with it being cloudy and raining. But there's another tree down, and hopefully you can hear the rain coming. Wow, didn't know it was gonna do that today. But anyway, we're about up here to the end of this trail. All right, so I have taken cover under a large fallen tree and hopes it doesn't give way anytime soon. But I mean, I don't know if you can see that or not, the amount of rain coming down. But For all you kids watching, a valuable tip, put a poncho in your backpack. I've known it, I've had it on my list, and I never got around to it, and today it got me. But anyway, still not too horrible. I was getting fairly warm hiking up the trail, and this has helped cool me off. But I know when this rain stops, the humidity will skyrocket. But anyway, the rain picked up pretty significantly there for a short period of time, so I was just trying to get out of it for a minute. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump back out here and knock this trail out so we can get the heck out of here. I got a good friend of mine that watches these videos, and he said, why don't you go up and try a hike in the rain one time? I think that would be an interesting video. So, Chris, this is for you, buddy. Wasn't intentional, but we definitely got it. So I am hiking in the rain, and it is a little more interesting for sure. But just want to give a shout out to Chris. Send me a text and let me know if you see this part of the video, bud. I appreciate it. All right, well, we made it here to the end where the trail intersects with Bote Mountain. And this is as far as we're gonna go. Bote Mountain goes on down the hill, and it continues on up to the Appalachian Trail, which is another 5.7 miles. Or you can go up and hit Findlay Cane here in about another 0.3. You go a little farther and it hits Lead Cove. But we are gonna go back down to campsite 18 and pass through that and go back to the truck because I'm getting soaked out here. All right, so that was West Prong Trail, 5 miles round trip, about 2.5 hours. But what did we learn today? Number 1, the GoPro is waterproof. Number 2, don't leave your rain jacket in the truck. And number 3, go ahead and put a poncho in your backpack. They don't take up that much room, and they're fairly lightweight, just in case you need it for an emergency when it rains. And lastly, if you did watch the video up to this point, you did learn the history of how we came up with the name of Just Keep Walking for the YouTube channel. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. I forgot how much I enjoyed this particular hike, except for the rain, which wasn't horrible. Definitely a different experience. It was a good one. You had some incline early on because, as you recall, I was breathing pretty heavy, but I always do that. Like in the first 5 or 10 minutes, I shoot out of the gate like I'm racing to get somebody. I don't know why, but I do it. But overall, the trail levels out and has some ups and downs. The worst part, though, is coming up this last section. It gets up to where it intersects with Bote Mountain. If you're going to hike this trail, to be honest with you, I would stop down here at the camp where the bridge is. You can see the water. To me, that's the highlight of this entire hike. But that's just me. So, like I said, hopefully you did enjoy the video, regardless of the rain. If you did, please go ahead and hit the like button. I'd also go ahead and ask that you hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. It'll just give you a notification the next time I publish another video. But until next time, stay dry and just keep walking.